Yo, yo, yo. In a bottle of rum. I didn't hit that note the way I wanted to. Let me try it again. In a bottle of rum. All right, that's a little bit better. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, MM2K. Yes, I'm revved up today. I'm revved up. Back again with another episode of SLS featuring MM2K. This is our open mic forum. Man, oh man, oh man. If you were brave enough to brave the waters of Sound Off, you you might get a little controversial surprise today. Yeah, you did. You got a controversial surprise. I'm not gonna get into it here. You got to go watch Sound Off, and if you can't watch Sound Off, like, oh, what does this mean, MM2K? You got to be a member. Again, we make sure that our controversial stuff, but it's factual, but our controversial stuff, because one thing I will say that we did mention in Sound Off is that, often we deal with situations where people, okay, I don't know what the hell is going on with Discord, why it's not letting me, okay. Christ, I don't know what Discord is doing, if it's trying to play Casper the Friendly Ghost. I don't know. Let's close it out. Try to open it back up. Discord doesn't want to work. What the fudge is going on? Well, you guys won't be able to see me. Oh, that kind of sucks, because I want to see myself. What the fuck is this? What part of the game is this? What the hell is going on? All right, I'm regardless of, I'm MM2K of PNTS Network and StadiaDosage. I want to welcome you guys to another SLS featuring MM2K. Oh, that really sucks, because I need to get into Discord. Let's welcome you to another SLS featuring MM2K. This is our open mic forum where we talk about all things Stadia. Yeah, we do, I promise. And we then turn it over to you guys, so you guys can have fun talking about all things Stadia. Where the fuck? Hey, yo, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's going to a screen. Here, let me try this. You guys got to excuse me, because I might mess up something temporarily. I'm going to shut this screen off, disconnect this display. All right, bear with me, y'all. There it goes. What the revert. That is the weirdest thing, bro. The weirdest thing. All right, I got to go here, because in order for me to get in here, go to PNTS Network. All right, let's go to the room for there we go. All right, now I'm in the room. Y'all should be able to see me. Now we're going to minimize that. Now we're going to bring it back. And the computer's not even working, because I told it to do something completely different than what it decided to do. Story of my life, folks. Story of my life. Deep changes. All right. Now we get to close you out. That was freaky. Like freaky, dude. All right. Let's get this back up. Okay. All right, cool. All right, y'all. So here's another thing I need to do too, is I need to get out of here. And I need to go to SLS featuring MM2K show notes. We got some cool stuff to talk about. All right, in the interim, just hold on for 1 second, guys and gals. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Hold on 1 second. Oh man, you guys stayed. Great. Was that an actual 30 seconds? I don't know. All right. So now we got my show notes up for SLS featured MM2K. I do want to instead get the Stadia blog up. We're going to talk about that. Stadia blog. Yeah. Oh. Here we go right there. Get that up on the screen already. All right. While we're doing all that crazy stuff, let's shout out our chat. We gotta give props where props is due. Oh wow, this thing really, what the hell? Now I can't even shout out the chat. Okay, let's bring this back up. Hopefully everything went haywire, man. What the hell happened? Come on. No, you bastard. Oh, this thing is driving me crazy, y'all. Y'all just don't understand. Golly. Okay, there we go. I think that's part of it. Can I get you to, there you go. All right. We knew you could do it. Let's go to social. We got Victor Del Maestro. Victor says, hiya. What's going on, Vic? Good to see you. Twisted Barbers in the house. What's up with the tears, Twisted? Was you perturbed that I started 15 minutes later? Hey, blame Dusty Iran. No. Dusty threw out a good question right before we were about to go live here, and I had to answer. He thought a hell of a question. I might even bring it up here. We'll see. Purple Haze in the house. What's going on, Purple? Now your mama knows. I appreciate that, my good friend, but I don't appreciate this jerk right here. He was harassing me over in Sound Off too. He says Stadia's done for, game over, shut it down immediately. I don't appreciate those abusive words, sir. Very toxic. You should know, Amanar, that a toxic and abusive and attack are real, or three words that are being routinely thrown around in the console world right now. You're attacking me, you're abusive, you're toxic. I've never seen this much sensitivity over in the console world. Guys are trying, man. That's the first, and we talked about this in not SLS. This is SLS. We talked about this in Sound Off. One of the first things that are done is when you're losing an argument, or you feel like that your argument is losing merit, is you start the victimization. I use an example of, I'm driving down the street. This is something that happens a lot in this space. I mean, I love this space. You guys know I love this space, but a lot of times that happens in this space is, I'll be walking down the street per se, and it's just like, imagine walking down the street and seeing somebody, not paying attention to the road on purpose, and then they run over an old lady, kill her, run a red light, and then run into a pole, right? And knock out all the electricity on the block. And so then out of my reaction, like, I'm in disbelief, like, hold on, did I just see that? And so then you see the guy get out the car, and he looks like he just want to gingerly get out the car. He's okay, and just walk off like nothing happened. And so your reaction is, hold on, whoa. Did you just see that guy? He ran into the pole and knocked out half the electricity in the block and just ran over and killed that old lady. And as a result, the guy then turns around to you and says, oh, so now you want to pin this all on me. You want to attack me. All I'm doing is walking out of my car. You know what I'm saying? Like, completely void of all the damage that they've done from their irresponsible acts or negligence. You want to pin this all on me? I'm just a lonely man walking the metropolitan streets. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of that victimization in this space. So we, in 2022, decided to take our more poignant, difficult, and sharp conversations to Sound Off. We have a lot of fun doing it. But yeah, we covered some controversial stuff over there. you know, I because of the nature of the victimization, it's become an art in this space. So what I've done is I put the information or the action that is happening, I put it out over there in sound off. And what you guys and gals can do is go listen to that. Follow the steps that I tell you to follow at the end to validate whether this is legitimate or whether I'm off my rocker, and you do with it what you will. You know what I mean? So great stuff over there. All right. Victor, speaking of the guilty man himself, Dusty and Rand, Nerds World in the house. What's going on, good brother? Lofi Monk in the house. Is Yo Simpleton is in here. Oh, we got Jack Deathslip in the house. She says Purple Haze does it good to M2K. Let me tell you something. Let's see here. We got Mostly Martinez in the house. Says thanks for the tip, Jack. Twisted Barber says I could do a rather large ball of run, especially with the news I just got to listen to. Far Cry Primal 64. Hey Ron, I'm very interested in that. I'm not expecting it, but if it is, holy cow. Oh, we got another Old Dirty Blaster member along with Twisted Barber in the house. We got Christopher Torres, my brother. Always breaking something, shake my head. What up, everybody? Wasn't broken until you showed up. Purple, I see that, in your mama knows, there's a fierce battle between you two. Do we gotta have a celebrity death match? Maybe that'll be our main event for the next Stadia Community Day. We'll have celebrity death match. Purple Haze versus Cowboy. I think that'll be great. That'll be fantastic. We got Bulls for Life in the house. Was up. Purple Haze says they start victimization. Sounds like in your mama knows for sure. We got the homie Dr. Streamax in the house. He says, yo, MM, what's going on, good brother? Good to see you. Hope everything is going well based on our conversation. Hope everything is good now. I meant to tell you that, brother. I was running and I was looking at my message and I was like, I don't think I responded to that right. It seemed like I was being insensitive. But no, my wife had me cutting grass in the middle of doing the Stadia Community Day. And then I had to go run somewhere with my son, and it was just crazy. Well, but we're going to talk about all that in a slot dedicated for that section. All right, but do us a huge favor. Let everybody know that we're live. I'm going to go back here on Twitter, not Twitch. I'm going to retweet out what I put out here in all of the social media platforms. All of the social media platforms. We're going to put that out there. We're going to put that here too. Yeah, let everybody know that we're live. Because, man, we're going to have a hell of a show today. Let me do that. All right, and also, too, for SLS featured not SLS featured MM2K, Sound Off. I forgot to mention this in Sound Off, and then we're going to get right to the show. We are going to be doing something new in Sound Off. We're going to be allowing people to make phone calls via Discord. So people that want to talk via Discord, we're gonna have a section. We're gonna have a phone booth section. I'm gonna call it the phone booth. So it's gonna be designated to our members. We might have a phone booth section here for the open mic. I might make it available for the open mic. It's for our members. Members are they go above and beyond the support. We love everybody. We love everybody's support. But there's just certain things that, in order for us to maintain it, we have it for our members. So if you're interested in participating in the phone booth, that's what I'm gonna call it. Hope I don't lose that. The phone booth. We're gonna look to start that next week. All right. And we're gonna test pilot it on Sound Off first. And then we're going to bring it to the open mics subsequently afterwards. Okay. All right. So let's get down with today's show. Yo. We got Suna live in the house and we got Psalmist Pro. What's up? And your mama knows says the purple bully. Oh, man. Perp. Is that what we gonna go by, the purple bully? Oh man, yeah, y'all be going at it, man. It's entertaining, very entertaining to say the least. All right, so you guys see it here. We got AAA devs return. What else do we have up here? We got AAA devs return. We got new Stadia gamers versus old, and then we're gonna talk about this week on Stadia as well. Well, let's kick it off with this week on Stadia. Let's do that. You know how we do. Let me show you something. All right, this week on Stadia, May, we offer you some games. It reads as follows. We're halfway through the month. How's your backlog looking? Fair warning, that's about to get even longer, and here's why. Cities Skylines now available in Stadia Pro plus new trial. Get ready for a modern take on the classic city simulation. City Skylines introduces new gameplay elements to realize the thrill and hardships of creating and maintaining a real city while also expanding on some real established tropes of the city building experience. You're only limited by your imagination, so take control and reach for the sky with an active Stadia Pro subscription. Claim and play City Skylines right now at no additional cost for purchase for $39.99 on the Stadia store. Or if you got Stadia Pro, you can do that. Try your hand at an open-ended city building simulation. Is easy on Stadia with new trial available from the team at Paradox Interactive. You can play the full game for 60 minutes at no additional cost without a Stadia account. Just click and play. They got a link right there for you to do so. Rise Above, Extension, and Far Cry Primal. Welcome to the I don't know where that voice came from. I have no idea. Don't even ask. Welcome to the Stone Age, a time of danger and adventure. Far Cry Primal lives at the intersection of innovation, open world gameplay, massive beasts, breathtaking environments, The only thing missing is you. Jump into the action when it launches today at 4 p.m. PT. So that's 7 p.m. tonight? Okay, that's odd, but whatever. 9 to 5 leaves early access with 1.0 update. Prepare to unlock corporation sponsored gear, customize your weapons, and team up with your colleagues to complete the shifts and advance your career. 9 to 5 now out of early access with the 1.0 update. A lot of people were excited about that one, about this one. You know, very interesting to see. I haven't played it yet, so guys in the chat, please let me know what you think is. What do you think about this 1.0 update? You can play it at no cost now on Stadia. Just click that link if you're in the Stadia blog. Play days for Dawn of the Monsters coming next weekend. That's awesome. Dawn of the Monsters port on Stadia is magnifique. It was another game that came out early in February, like Little Nightmares 2 did, where it launched day before date in the Stadia Pro. That's awesome. And last but not least, celebrate Pac-Man's Big 4-0 with the birthday sale starting May 22nd. Pac-Man is turning 40 and starting May 22nd will be celebrated with 50% off. Currently, $19.99 save 50% and get it for $10 on the world's biggest simultaneous multiplayer Pac-Man experience available on Stadia. Jump into 64-player games by purchasing Pac-Man Make Eternal Battle on the Stadia store and show everyone who's the leader of the pack. And don't forget, if you're interested in trying the full games first, it's easy on Stadia. Just play 30-minute trial, start chomping your way to the top of the leaderboards. And that's it, folks. What do you think about this? What do y'all think about this? We're gonna do a poll to get your thoughts. We're gonna do a couple polls. What do you grade this and you know, our atypical poll? What do you grade this week on Stadia? A, B, C. Here we go. And now we're putting our poll out there. What do you grade this week on Stadia? You think it's a good month or a good week? Or good bye week. It all depends. Well, the announcement itself is cool. I'm not going to give you my score yet because I'm on the fence. I mean, I think this is good. I'm going to say that this is really good. 9 to 5, people are starting to grow some real excitement about that game. Dawn of Monsters is fantastic. I've never played Megaton Battle. It's not really my game, but I've heard positive things about it. Far Cry Primal, that's dope to be on the platform. But, you know, then there's City Skylines. And not only is City Skylines on the platform, but it's releasing in Pro. Like, wow. Like, let me know what you guys think. All right, so let's see here. Suna's in the house. Jeff's OnlyFans business card is in the phone booth. Oh, wow. Holy cow. The Stadia Life Twitter guy sends his regards. Metal Wolf, good to see you, good brother. Jason Lloyd, hi everyone. Happy that Cities is part of Pro? Absolutely. Rafael Polidero says, is it here we don't talk about who did MM2K unfollow? Does it start with B, like we don't talk about Bruno? Hey, Rafael, you are very, very interested in who I unfollowed. I'll put it to you like this. If you want an understanding of who I unfollowed, you got to be a member and you got to check out Sound Off. Because I give some very specific clues. And it's entities that I've talked about before. So we'll put it like that. I think I know what you're hinting at. I'll give you a hint. But I'll put it like this. The entities that I was referring to, if you become a member and you check out Sound Off, there's a couple episodes of Sound Off. I'll find the other one too. I tell you who it is in so many words. Tell you who it is. MM, you better tell Purple Haze anyone who had beef with the Cowboy. They aren't around anymore. I'll outlast suckers. I'm a winner. You better ask Chucky. Dang, man. Wow. Purple Haze says, I ain't sweating. I ain't stunting this dude. That's cute. You have to get a little red-headed dog. Wow. Ooh, wow, Cowboy. Jesus. I give it a B. Cowboy says I give it a C at best. That's interesting. Did you see what Original Penguin found with Skylines? Content, yeah. Content creator packs with your mods and DLC. Yeah, and because I got something from Ralph. Shout out to Ralph. So from what I understand, let me read Ralph's message. XDA got an article on there. I want to read this. Let's read this article. Let's read an article live on air. Let's read an article live on air. Let's read an article live on air. And then I'm going to get to what Ralph said. Well, no, I'm going to get to what Ralph says first. Because let's do this. Okay, I got to get to my messages. Ralph hit me up. Hey, look, man, I'm telling you, I'm looking in this DM. Golly, hey, bro. Oh, yeah, I got him. Hey, the man from Elknew. I got these ones. Man, I'm telling you, the old dirty blasters, they're killing it. I'm gonna put that on the screen too. I know I'm all over the place. Y'all gotta deal with me. Y'all gotta bear with me. He says, heads up, both City Skylines Pearls from the East and City Skylines Carols, Candles, and Candy are free on the Stadia store to expand the newly released cities. Golly! Muhammad, golly! Well, see, this is here. Let's go back here. Let's go back here. Y'all can see I'm revved up today. Let's go back here. We're going to read this article in a second, but let's go back here. That should be in here. That should be it. Hey, Jack, do you think we can get that added? Jack, I'm going to, let's get that added to our article. And no, we're not doing this because, Jack, I'm sending you a DM right now. No. I'm gonna send it to the staff. What am I doing? I can't do that to my brother Jack. Jack is probably sitting there trying to eat dinner with his family. And he's like, send it to the team. If we can get, if we can get added to City Skylines story, according, come on, brother. According to Mr. 1030. Wow, there we go. All right. Yeah, that should be in here. But again, some people will sit there and say, ZMM2K, you want to do Stadia's job. No, I'm doing my own job, which is keeping the Stadia community acclimated to stuff so we can enjoy it together. I don't get a paycheck from Google. I don't check with Google, I don't say, hey, Google, do you want me to say this, or Google, do you want me to say that, Google? I don't do that. We don't do that. We're doing it for the sake of the community. You know what I mean? So to make sure that we're acclimated. But I do believe that that should be in here. That definitely should be in there. And another thing I want to show y'all too, man. Here, let's do this. Let me go to PNTS Network real quick. Oh, dear Lord. Jeez. Come on. These guys is killing it. Damn, is PNTS being DDoSed or something? These guys are killing it. The Old Dirty Blasters. If you go to our Old Dirty Blasters clan, which you can just type in pntsnetwork.com/ODB, that'll take you there. Our Division 2 Old Dirty Blasters clan, they're out here getting it, man. If you're enjoying that season 9 of Division 2, you better get with the program. Mr. 1030 was running with us. Shout out to homie Geek to Sneak and the man from Elknew. And we're sharing secrets, builds, gear. Like we're about to be out here chopping some heads. Man from Elknew, I got your message. I'm curious, are those the gloves that are rolled right? I got a pair already. I got these ones. That's what I meant to say. But are these ones rolled pretty good? Because I'm gonna be honest, the gloves that I got, the contractor gloves I got, are not good. Pretty good, because the ones, see, I got to do this stuff live on air. This is how we be killing it with the Old Dirty Blasters, because the ones I have are not rolled too good. All right, let's get back to the show. I can give a damn what I'm excited about. Y'all want to hear some news, some talk. All right, and shout out to Raphael. He's damn, hey bro, he on the mission, man. Hey, Raphael Polidero just became a member, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining the family. You'll enjoy the content. So if you're if you see me, Raphael, if you see me mouthing off about something on Twitter, and I don't go into too much detail, again, I love the community. We had a great community day, but sometimes, again, there's that, we're not always the best at following the facts, then connecting the dots, and calming our hysteria. But man, oh man, can we play some victims? So, and I'm not doing the victim thing in 2022. We're not doing it. So I know some of my takes that may cause a little bit of heartburn, we take it to sound off. So if you're ever curious, just watch sound off. It'll give you some clarity there. All right. With that said, do us a huge favor, tweet this out, let everybody know that we're live. I'm looking at the poll right now. 39% of y'all say A, 39% of y'all say B, and then C and D are tied at 11. Those are interesting results. So again, let us know what you think about this week on Stadia. All right, so here, let me lift. Golly, my old man knees are gonna buckle. Hold on 1 second. All right, so you guys are probably interested in the subject matter that I have here that says AAA developers return. Well, in Sound Off, we talked a lot about how often in the community we miss some cues, right? Like way back when, back in 2020, there was this big thing about Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk's not coming day and date. Oh my God, it's not coming day. And I said, I don't think you guys, looking at this verbiage, I don't think you guys understand everything that can fit under this umbrella. Like, you're seeing something because you don't like you're upset about the lack of clarity, which I can understand. And you're reacting negatively to something, y'all, that may not mean what you're making it out to mean. And with Google, when it comes to Stadia, you got to have patience. You got to have patience if you're somebody waiting for the super big bang moment. We kind of talked about this in Sound Off, where we explained our more controversial piece and how we went back in time and started back with Cyberpunk. And, you know, one of the things that I didn't talk about there, but because I already talked about it a lot recently, is that there was for those of you that are new, there was a point in time when the community was revved up, me included, because I had heard wind of it, that Cyberpunk wasn't coming to Stadia day and date. And then I calmed myself down and I did what I should have originally done before I responded, because I actually went out on Twitter, still out on Twitter. It's like, Stadia, you need Cyberpunk to come day and date. You know what I mean? And then I was like, hold on, let me read what's going on. Let me follow the breadcrumbs and get a better understanding of what's all under this umbrella. And so then I did my research, used my experience of crafting business communications at a high level, and I said, no. What was said isn't indicative of Cyberpunk not coming day and date. They're just CYAing, meaning they're covering your ass. We say it a lot in the office. Yeah, make sure you CYA, cover your ass. If something goes wrong and somebody else initiated it, make sure you have that documented and traced, right? They were just simply covering their ass because the developers probably weren't making a full-throated commitment to say, look, we're there. They probably were keeping periodics up. We're there. We're getting there, very confident. But you got to understand, our primary goal is those that are paying the marketing rights, which is Xbox and then PlayStation, then PC. So as long as things stay in a good space, yeah, yours is coming day and day, but we can't commit to that. So to cover their ass as well, Stadia went with the phrase coming that year. They didn't say coming after everyone else. They didn't say coming late. They just said coming that year. Because it lacked clarity, the community reacted emotionally and closed off all the other possibilities that it could mean. And that kept happening over and over. It's like we're in Groundhog's Day, 51st dates, you name it, where we keep doing the same thing over and over again, leading to the same result. Now, that's a good segue to the other portion of this open mic that I'm going to talk about, where I rate or I compare the Stadia community now versus before, but I'm not going to get there yet. But that was an old trait of us, the old guard, is that because something like clarity lacked clarity and we didn't like it, we always added the most negative connotation to it. I think that was a knee-jerk habit because what we were trying to do is we were trying to force Google's hand and say, well, if you're going to leave this so ambiguous, if you're going to leave this just so open-ended like that, then we're just going to slap the most negative thing on it, and then you're going to have to clarify it. And Google never did. You know what I'm saying? You didn't find out until it rolled out. It's been like that since 2020. And it's gotten even worse because what Google used to do is they used to tell you in advance, be on the lookout for such and such, such and such, coming soon or coming later, whatever. You know, I forget the terms that they use. And so someone would say, well, what does coming soon mean? Or what does this mean? And that became a movement. And that caused heartache in the community. You guys say coming soon or on its way, and there's no rhyme and reason on when it's coming. So they said, well, again, if you're dealing with how things are working with developers, because again, developers are like, you know, they're squinting their face and they're raising their hands and their shoulders and they're like, you guys ain't PlayStation and Xbox. So you got to understand where we're not going to put you, we're not going to put you on the same timeline as them. And it was like that. And I hear a lot of times where people say, well, you guys stop paying the money. If you keep paying the money, this will solve this. We know that's not true. Or we should know that's not true. Because when we were paying the money, we were still seeing ports that weren't up to par, timelines being missed. Remember, NBA 2K didn't get fixed or didn't, it was missing the rosters and stuff like that for months. Remember that? They got the check. I mean, the least egregious was Ubisoft. The worst that they've done was there's games that are 30 frames per second. They're the biggest supporters of the platform. And that's the best you can kind of hope for, again, because of two things. You guys are not Xbox and PlayStation, but, and this is a very big but you want us to develop for you like your Xbox and your PlayStation, when you're not. When you guys become a little bit more self-aware that you're not Xbox and PlayStation, you're a 1% to 3% business, and like all the other 1% to 3% business, developing for you has to become less cumbersome. When you guys get back to that zone, holler. Give us a call, holler. Right? And to better illustrate what I mean, let me do this. I want to bring this up to you guys. I'm giving you a sneak peek at something that we talked about at in Sound Off, but I didn't go over this in this particular detail. Let me show it to you. This right here, my friends, is the Stadia keynote from 2021. And remember how I said that we often hear things in a vacuum, and because it lacks clarity that we're looking for, we slap the most negative connotation to it, and we don't look at it from what I like to say 5,000 feet and bring in all the possibilities. We just want to slap the most negative connotations to it. And the folks or the entities that continue to do that, they continue to be dead ass wrong. But that's on them. Some continue to do that, be dead ass wrong, and there's no repercussion for them for it. Matter of fact, they're seeing success. As a matter of fact, if you want to know what I'm talking about, again, check out Sound Off. You're going to hear me say that a lot. But this is Kareem Yap in 2021, July 13th, 2021, a few months after, as a matter of fact, if I might pat myself on the back, along with Project Storm, I'm going to digitally pat him on the back too. When Project Storm and I, in an episode of SSC Podcast, got somebody to call us up on the red phone, they was like, hello. Like, who the hell is this? Hello. We got something that you might want to let the Stadia community know. Who the hell is this? Don't worry about that right now. Alphabet, the parent company of Stadia. No, seriously, who the hell? Shut up. Alphabet, parent company of Stadia, raised the priority of Stadia, making major investments. They told Google to work with Stadia, go to developers, ask them what they need, come back to us. After they did that, we wrote them a check, and we told them to get it done. Let the community know. Goodbye. Click. That's a more dramatized version of what happened. Pretty much what happened. Then I saw validation of such. I said, well, hold on. Call back. I waited for him to call back. Oh yeah, you probably want to see evidence. I'm going to send it to you via facsimile. You know what I'm saying? When I saw the evidence, I said, oh my. This crazy sounding guy or gal is on to something here. Hot Jiminy Crickets. Now, we did a podcast. We let you guys know exactly that. And what happened? A couple of months later, what you see on the screen happened, detailing exactly what we told you guys. Now, here's what I want to do. There's specific parts in here that I cover in Sound Off. So again, you check out Sound Off because we ain't got that much time to go over everything. But there's a particular section that I didn't go over that much in Sound Off that I want to go over here because it's very key to what we're going to talk about as far as the AAA developer return. And here we go. So let me pause this here. Okay. So I got to turn this off and I want y'all to listen to this.
Whether custom or licensed, our goal is to make Stadia development as close to turnkey as possible. There's a great session coming up later in the day.
Okay, did you guys hear that? Let me bring it back. Let's do it again.
Support of game engines, whether custom or licensed, our goal is to make Stadia development as close to turnkey as possible.
All right. Very important. Our goal, whether custom or licensed, our goal is to make Stadia development as close to turnkey as possible. Now, for those of you that are in the Fortune 500 world like me, you know how people like to come up with these snazzy terms, right? To kind of like show you everyday life motions or activities to try to, like on a business level, describe something to you. The key word in that phrase is turnkey. What does turnkey mean? Well, simply that. When you start your car, you just turn the key, ignition starts, you pull off. Turnkey means simple, easy, simplified and not complicated. Very easy. A typical development for a platform is not turnkey because you got to do it manually. However, to get a cloud version of a game for xCloud, to get a cloud version of a game for GFN, to get a cloud version of a game for Luna, it's turnkey. Very little effort is the best way to describe it. It's not that way currently for Stadia, but that's okay because the low change porting that they flesh out in more detail in the 2022 keynote is the tail end of that, of looking to get it turnkey. Very little effort. Now, I advise everybody to make sure that you don't fall into that siloed realm that we fell into in 2020, where we don't look at things big picture. We get upset at the lack of clarity, so therefore we just slap negative connotations on stuff. I urge you guys and gals to go look at the Stadia keynote. As you can see, I'm highlighted here. It premiered July 13th, 2021. I urge you to watch that because there's this concept that Stadia is looking to pivot from AAA games altogether, and they're looking to pivot to just an indie platform. And there's nothing wrong with indie games. Nothing wrong with them at all. But there's nothing factually sound in the collective things that Stadia has said that alludes to that. Even if you go to the July 13th, 2021 keynote, where by July 13th, the Stadia 2022 lineup pretty much is already set, if not already set. They're telling you that their mission was to provide high-resolution visuals to gamers with incredibly low latency. They painted a bold vision for future of streaming AAA games across any connected device without the need of need for local physical hardware. They want to thank all of their partners who worked with them at the rollout in 2020, and they look forward to continuing to work with them and the rest of the industry on this journey. And in the first hint of success of anything that they related to Stadia, if you look at the history of this platform, the first thing that they tagged success to was, quote, launch Cyberpunk 2077 with exceptional performance. So when you start seeing Stadia and the word successful coming from that camp, it's all tagged to 2077, Cyberpunk 2077 rather, and that is the spearhead of the pivot with the SG&E letter. So you take that in culmination with the fact that, again, quote, whether custom or licensed, our goal is to make Stadia development as close to turnkey as possible. That doesn't tell you a company that's long-term looking to pivot away from AAA development. They're trying to set up their platform to better embrace AAA development for the long term. Now, granted, earlier on in 2023, we haven't seen the AAA games that, we would like to see. Long term. That's because the toolkit, at launch, you've heard me say this ad nauseum. At launch, it's apparent Stadia's porting was not idealistic for their situation. They've admitted it themselves. They said, they've said this out of their own mouths during this very same keynote. Our porting was too cumbersome for developers. They were already contracted, already got their money, so they had to follow through. But after those contracts were done, they had to think twice. Now, you look around at all other cloud platforms, their development is turnkey. They then realized that they had to get their development turnkey as well. So after you've had a platform already launched, you already got your development set up. A year and a half is kind of a short, or a year, or no, not even a year. This initiative started early 2021. They didn't go to the developers to do this overhaul or try to get a massive response to the issues of the porting process till early 2021. To expect those new toolkits and everything to be deployed when we start seeing massive gains in early 2022, that wasn't realistic. Here's what we did though, is we thought that by the closure of SG&E, that meant that Stadia was going to take that money from SG&E and continue to pay for ports. I understand that line of reasoning if you don't understand the business sense behind it. So let's help you understand the business sense behind it, why that just wasn't a smart approach. And why, again, we shouldn't have siloed ourselves to not understand all the possibilities and to think that that's what was going to happen. You have two major factors. Factor number one, as I spoke to earlier, Stadia's porting setup was, we give you $10-20 million for the big AAA games. You bring them to us. That's it. They weren't even given commitments after giving them the money, after signing of the contract. Why? Because they said, even though you're giving us $10-20 million, it's still not PlayStation or Xbox. There's going to be a longevity of DLC, loot boxes and stuff like that is going to make this $10-20 million look like a spit in a bucket. So now you're talking about, in order for them to compete on the realm of Xbox and PlayStation, you're talking 50 million, 100 million a port. That's not sustainable. And that's not going to get approved by a board who is then going to look and say, all right, your original plan was to get 1 million subscribers and you fell flat there. And then by you getting 1 million subscribers, that would convince developers to just develop on the platform because it would become lucrative for them. You didn't reach that goal. And the other platforms may have not reached 1 million monthly active users, paying active users. Let me be specific there, because people will see the 15 million plus on GFN and surmise, oh, there's got to be 1 million active users. We don't know that. I wouldn't hold your breath on that. Oh, there's a lot of people that use it, but 1 million paying active users that are subscribed, that be on the free tier, I don't know. So you got a board that's looking at, okay, but what is your problem? We can't leave this space. It's just not plausible for us to leave this space. If we leave this space, Microsoft and Luna will destroy us in the long term. We cannot leave the gaming space at this juncture. And we're doing great with Google Play, but but as far as these bigger games and bigger development, like, we got to be in this space. So what is it that we got to do? Because from what we hear, they're not having these problems. Well, we'll go find out. They go and find out, and they realize, well, look, we're whipping out games over there because it's turnkey. Look at your screen. Let me make it bigger for you. Development is turnkey. Oh, you can't see it because of the ticker, but it's turnkey. The deciding factor for them to pivot from SG&E was the fact that Cyberpunk 2077 was one of the biggest factors, along with Ubisoft Plus, another AAA expenditure or AAA tool. Those are the things that got us closest than anything to us having 1 million active users at any given time. We gotta, like they say in the SG&E letter, we gotta get the games that people want to play on the platform. We just gotta get them. But it's going to take some time for that process to fully flesh out and roll out. So you run into a lull. PlayStation 4 ran into a lull. Remember when they had to admit that, look, yeah, we're kind of behind on our exclusive content. We're falling behind there. They were on a lull. Their lull was for 3 or 4 years. Xbox, some might complain that they're still in the lull. They're going through a civil war because half of the Xbox community, the diehard Xbox community, is upset that 2 games got delayed. They feel with 30 studios, more games should be whipped out because at one point in time, they were told that every quarter, there will be an Xbox exclusive released in Game Pass. That hasn't yet happened. And they got 30 studios. That's the way half of them are looking at it. There is a civil war over there. Those are major platforms that have been around for decades. But we know that this stuff is coming. We knew it was coming from PlayStation and it came from PlayStation. We know 2023 is going to be a juggernaut for Xbox. We know it's coming. We can't ignore all of the fathomable processes under the umbrella because of our feelings. Every factual occurrence, everything that has been said, every presentation points to the fact that the current landscape or the current mindset is we got to get our tools in order. And when we get our tools in order and we get them rolled out, that's when we're expecting a bigger push for the bigger blockbuster games. Because like our competitors then, it'll be what? Turnkey. Not Stadia is now becoming for the long term an indie tool or indie machine. Heck, the reality of it is that everybody's becoming an indie machine now. Remember the tweet from Skill Up that said, we've seen the bulk of the AAA games. We're going to be running into a large subsect of indie games. And he gave all three to get used to it. 2022, the rest of 2022 is going to be about indie games for the most part. So it's important that we look at everything from 5,000 feet. Here's where I'm going to get into the new AAA developer coming. Here's a sign of this. We've heard this before even from the Sky Climbers dev. I don't know if you guys were part of the AMA. Shout out to Vivi, good, excellent guy in the community, Vivi. He did an AMA in the Stadia Discord with the developer for Sky Climbers, and they told you, look, we want to get you guys early access to our game, but here's the dilemma that we have. We can start developing it manually, right? But but 2/3 of the way or 3/4 of the way through the process, we're expecting this low charge porting to come out, or this low change. Why do I keep saying charge? This low change porting to come out. So if I start developing it, it's not a matter of me picking up where I left off and putting it through the low change porting. It doesn't work like that. I've just wasted 6 or 7 months of development when I can use the low change porting and just get it to whip it out in a couple of weeks. It's better for me to use that 6 or 7 months to do something else, work on Steam or whatever. So I'm just going to wait until the low change porting comes out. That's coming from an indie developer who has been full-throatedly supporting the platform. So if he's saying that, what do you think AAA developers are saying? I'm going to wait for the low change porting. Let me give you another prime example of why all things are pointing in this direction. And I promise I'm going to shut up after this and turn the mic over to you guys. All right, let me go back to here. Let's do this. I don't know. You know what? I don't want to. I did say we were going to read that XDA report. We'll get there. This is more important. This is Take-Two Interactive's May 2022 software presentation. And they go over the financials, what's been successful, what ain't been successful, well, they don't really go over what ain't been successful. It's all positive for them, right? And this is a presentation for investors and things like that, right? And how great they're doing with their entities, their different sectors and all other stuff. All right, so when you get to the strategy part where they talk about the things that they're invested in right now, that they're utilizing to help continue, and that they're continuing to work in to develop growth. See, is this the right one? Okay, yep. They say strong fundamentals and healthy balance sheet position us for a long-term trajectory. So they say these are the things that they're going to be invested in they're going to be invested in and working with in the long term, right? And they give a multitude of things. But they also have in participating in new distribution channels, including streaming / cloud gaming and direct to consumer. Oh, great. Interesting. Well, we haven't seen Take-Two put anything new on Stadia right now. So they can't mean Stadia, right? Streaming and cloud gaming, they list Stadia here along with the newly branded PlayStation Plus models and the Game Pass Ultimate cloud-enabled games. So this section right here, for those of you that are not familiar with how, if you're talking about growth, you're talking about future, things that you're going to be working in. And just having Red Dead Redemption, which is a big game, and not be your only big hitter in there, along with Borderlands, which, support is going to be dropped. That's not you don't factor that into long-term growth and include that just because you have an old pipeline there. You're talking about future innovation, future works, things that you're going to develop for. All right. Now, there are going to be some that see this and say, aha, MM2K, we got you. You fell for the okie doke. I'm going to say, well, what do you mean I fell for the okie doke? Because MM2K, that's the same thing that they said in August, right? This is the same August version of that. And in August, they said the same thing. Same thing, MM2K. The supported platforms on the cloud, here goes the same part, new distribution models, including streaming, cloud gaming, and direct-to-consumer. Ha! And it's the same thing, MM2K. Stadia, look, when it was PlayStation Now, it was PlayStation Now, and Game Pass Cloud enabled. So it's the same thing. They just talking about Red Dead. This is where you got to better understand the business side of it. This is a slide or a section of this investor presentation where they're talking about growth. When you hear company growth, this is talking about long-term solutions as far as future building. Where are we building at in order to sustain ourselves financially and see growth? Building, right? And when you talk about building, you often hear me say the term in flight. This is actually a slide that would describe things where they have projects or integration in flight. Now again, what those things are in flight, I can guess, but I don't know. It could be a candy or it could be an indie game, but I doubt it. This is Take-Two we're talking about. And again, they're another group who, if the development is turnkey here and turnkey here, as long as it's also turnkey here, you're going to see iterations of their AAA portfolio hit all three. Here goes something else I want to show you guys in case you have doubts towards that. This is a job description that came out and it was just removed 7 days ago. It describes as part of what is this job? This is a user researcher coordinator, right? We are searching for hardworking, organized user research coordinator to facilitate and recruit research studies by partnering with the senior user research staff. This role will support a large variety of game titles and studios gaining experience working with first-person shooters, strategy games, sports titles, and more. AAA stuff, right? What does this got to do with Stadia? Well, who we believe would be an excellent fit. There's a multitude of things. Adept technical skills, able to communicate, experience using spreadsheets. And here goes an interesting one. Full awareness of game distribution platforms for Steam, Epic, Game Store, and Google Stadia consoles, etc., as well as understanding of streaming and broadcasting software. Wow. Well, hold on, MM2K. You fell for it. What do you mean I fell for it? Maybe that was an old job description. Look at it. It got removed. Oh, you sure about that? Whoa! You don't know that. Maybe that was old. That was from 1952. It got rid and they removed it. Here goes the same job description under another job facilitation application or platform. And it was placed April 18th, 2022. This is a newer job. This is a newer job. That again says who we believe would be an excellent fit. Full awareness of game distribution, platforms, Steam, Epic Game Store, Google Stadia, consoles, etc. Look, one thing you can say about Strauss Zelnick, you can say he's fit for an old geezer, he has a sexy neck, whatever the hell you want to say about. What you can say is he doesn't beat around the bush. He reminds me of, what's that guy's name? The analyst. Michael, he reminds me of a Michael Pachter who actually knows what the hell he's talking about. Strauss Zelnick doesn't beat around the bush. If it was Take-Two's goal to never support Stadia again, he was sad. We tried it, don't like it, we moved on. If Stadia was like, you know what, we're done with AAA development, except for Ubisoft, then all those things that I showed you previously, where they tell you our goal since launch was to show you that you can get high resolution, low latency gaming without a dedicated device. We did that by giving you, we did that via some of the biggest AAA games out there. So we painted a bold vision for the future of streaming AAA games across any connected device. And the first time you hear them talk about success with Stadia is with a big ticket AAA game. Directly after that is they pivot, get rid of internal development, and change their investment structure to what? Whether custom or licensed, our goal is to make Stadia development as close to turnkey as possible. They say that as late as July 2013. Trust me, to help understand the business side, please don't believe that they didn't know their 2022 lineup as of July 2013. That's not how this works. It's not how this works. So, wanted to point that out there for everybody because I hear a lot of discussions and I kind of hear like this defeatist thud. Not from the new people. I think the new people get it. We're going to get into that a little bit. I hear like this defeatist thud from some of us from the old guard that have been listening to a lot of rhetoric. Some of y'all still tuned in to some of the old guard that just don't get it. That don't follow these facts. That the same old guard that led you to believe that Cyberpunk 2077 was not coming day and date. It's not coming. No way. But I don't blame them. I can't control and dictate who says what. The onus is up to you. If you're looking for facts or looking for the best way forward, you gotta be connected to sources that are in tune with the facts, explain how things were going down, and that's what actually happened. And we have a track record here. We actually have a track record of correcting ourselves and dissing ourselves from back in 2020 when we didn't have a good grasp of what Google was trying to do. But ever since then, we've been laying it out for you and explaining it for you, and everything has matched up to the actual events. We haven't overshot the moon. After we've had to recalibrate and correct ourselves, we haven't overshot the moon positively or negatively. We didn't say things like, it's closing down tomorrow. We also didn't say things like, oh yeah, expect 2022 to be humongous. We've never gone there. We just told you the mind state that is likely happening based upon the facts, the things that have been said, and the reaction from partners and developers. That's another key. I can sit up here and yell and spit and make this pop filter look as nasty as I want to all day. It doesn't matter if it doesn't match the reality of the ground. So what do? Make sure that I'm understanding and I'm calibrated correctly. I fine-tune that understanding and talk to the devs. And when we talk to the devs, what happens? People I've never met before. They're echoing the same sentiments that we've been saying for years. Tough decisions have to be made. If you want to be entertained, this isn't for you. Listen to whatever. But if you want the facts, if you want to follow the facts or find out what is the best mood to understand what's going on, you got to check the resume, and you just got to look at the precedent of what was said and what's happened. Somebody dear to me reached out to me the other day. Excuse me while I adjust my seat. Somebody reached out to me the other day, and they said, "Yo, MM, I know you're going to talk about XYZ." It's kind of like a negative connotation to Stadia. You know, and pretty much what the sentiment was, you got to keep what I derived from the conversation. You got to touch on this, because in order for you to keep it real, you can't just talk about the good. You got to talk about the bad, and this clearly looks bad. And so I looked at it and I'm like, it's irrelevant. Why would I talk about this? Well, a bunch of other people are talking about it. I don't care what a bunch of other people are talking about. I just care about the facts. The responsibility that I've taken is not to debate with people's emotions. The responsibility that I've taken is to present you the facts. Not some of them, not most of them, but all of them. So I brought this out, and again, I don't know what games 2K would potentially bring to the platform. And I'm not saying that I know, oh yeah, they're waiting, 2K is sitting and they're waiting for the low charge. That's what the evidence points to. So if that's what the evidence points to, I'm just asking you to think before you indulge in this doom and gloom defeatism that some of the older people, the newer people, they got it. You guys are sharp as a whip. You guys, you guys get it. Just some of us old guard. Before you fall into this defeatist attitude, what does the evidence say? Because the evidence hasn't steered you wrong. When you stick to the evidence opposed to what you think or what you want to happen, you don't get driven wrong. So I'm just curious if you are double checking your emotions and your gut to what has been said. And I just ask, if you're not, make that part of your exercise. Because when I look at the evidence, it points to, again, they working on making their development as close to turnkey So they're in a better position, like their peers, to get games. Because once they get games, if they can not only get it turnkey, but that turnkey process utilizes the power of the platform, where Division 2 quality is just customary, then my God, my God, my God. I think it's a better strategy than paying for ports, because you're dissolving money that isn't helping you out long term. You're going to spend 20, 30 million, let it be to a long-term process, because again, paying 20, 30 million for ports, as we see, doesn't even guarantee that the game is going to come on time or that the game is going to perform right. But if your porting process, again, is turnkey and is efficient and utilizes the best of the platform, that will. All right. So that's that. All right. With that said, man, we got a bunch of super chats while I was ranting and raving and spitting all over the place. Okay. So let me make sure I get all of them. Okay, so we already got the homie Raphael here. Let me move back here. Raphael became a member. He wants to find out who I unfollowed. I can dig it. You're gonna get some good programming on the way though, brother. You're gonna get some hellified programming on the way. All right, we got some other people that okay, we got Geek to Sneak in the house. Geek to Sneak says, oh yeah, he with a $4.99 sticker. Video game controller poses triumphantly in between the words critical hit. Shout out to Geek to Sneak, thank you very much. And somebody else, hold on. Geek to Sneak put something right under them, I think. Oh no, the brother Sanchez celebrates 2 months of membership. Let's get loud, MM2K. I appreciate it. All right, let me go to some of y'all comments, man. Let's start. Where to start? Oh, okay, Jack. Jack, I'm sorry, brother. He said, I heard my name. Jack, I'm sorry. I didn't want to disturb you eating dinner or whatever you were doing, man. I apologize. I was just revved up. You know, Jack, you know to ignore me. You know to ignore me, Jack. And now your mama knows says we built this community because the community is for us to enjoy. Exactly. As long as you know that the content that you're indulging in is pivoting off of that circumference, I think you're in a good spot. Cowboy says the Cyberpunk thing was interesting. So it was stated the Stadia version wouldn't be day and date, but then Cyberpunk kept getting delayed, so it ended up coming out all. Did Stadia get lucky? No. What happened was, if you look at the original verbiage, Cowboy, they never said that it was coming after everyone else. They said it's coming in the year. It's coming this year. It's coming in 2022. That's all they said. Or 2020. People took that as, hold on, you're specifically announcing these platforms. You're talking about it coming in a year for this specific platform. That has to mean it's coming later. And that's not true. That's corporate doublespeak. I know that because I've had to do that every day. Whenever we messed up or whenever the client messed up something, rather, and the client didn't want details out, and people called us to figure out what was going on, we did corporate doublespeak. We spoke about the facts without giving out as much detail as we could to CYA. Well, you said this will be rectified by this date. No, what we said is it will be rectified by fall. You know what I'm saying? That's corporate doublespeak. And what we had at that time, Cowboy, is a lot of enthusiastic, I think well-intended gamers who were just wet behind the ears when it comes to that. And I put it out there. I tried to reason with people and say, hold on. I don't think this is the case. No, that's the case. That's the case. That's the case. I got experience with this. Hear me out. No, that's not. That's the case. That's the case. Another thing that I recall is I remember when Alex Hutchinson, the head of Typhoon Studios, the defunct Typhoon Studios that now become Raccoon something, after they were let go by Stadia. He got online and said, remember this? He said that stadiums, or not stadiums, but gamers should pay to stream developers' game. They should be honored, and they should, because they're using their intellectual property, and they should pay game developers to stream their games. Cause it got Stadia trending on Twitter for all the wrong reasons. Caused a big upstorm. What's his name? Even Dr. Disrespect said, and this is the Stadia vice president, which he was just the vice president of the studio, caused a lot of heartache. But again, understanding that before you roll with your emotions, you gotta kick the tires. I've checked the trending and how big this story was becoming with readers and publications. And I was looking over tracking, I saw that it was big on Twitter, wasn't really that big on Facebook. It wasn't getting any traction. It wasn't a guess of mine. These aren't guesses from me. This is me just basically picking up a book and reading it. So that's like me picking up Green Eggs and Ham, Sam I Am, Green Eggs and Ham, and you argue with me, you never read the damn book, and you're saying, no, it's purple pancakes and tartar sauce. No, it's Green Eggs and Ham. It says it right here. Shut up, MM2K. It's purple pancakes and tartar sauce. And then I show you the book, and it's Green Eggs and Ham, and you're like, oh, well, okay, all right, it was that. I mean, you got it right that time. No, it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about the facts. And like Cowboy said, when you're connected to the community, it's not just about your emotions, it's about you getting the facts to the people. I told everybody then, I'm looking at the evidence, I'm reading the book. It literally says Green Eggs and Ham. Or I'm looking at the tracking. This is not going to stick to Stadia. Most of you who even remember that story forgot about it until I just mentioned it. But no, everybody, no, this is damaging. No, if you're not living in reality, MM2K. And that's the problem. If you don't know which way to go, again, the new people get it. They got it. They know how to block out this noise. But if you're an old guard still on the periphery trying to figure out to listen to this one or listen to that one, and you don't know which way to go, follow the precedent. Look at what's been said opposed to what's happened. I'm not going to tell y'all anything wrong. I'm not going to steer y'all in the wrong direction. And if Stadia does something negative that's going to have long-term ramifications, according to the evidence, I'm going to tell you so. How do you know that? Because when Stadia made the bad mistake, and they'll admit it at some point in time, of taking that SG&E announcement and rolling it over to Kotaku, even though after looking at the details and coming through the details, perception is 9/10 of the law, right? So they put the perception power in Kotaku's hands, and Kotaku just destroyed them with it. I was talking to people. I was coming over tracking, looking over evidence. And I say, yeah, this is going to have a long-term sting, but it's going to be very, very, very damaging long-term. In an unsustainable way if they don't fix this. They can't move on from this. I screamed out from the rooftops for 2 weeks. I even had faithful Stadia content creators call me. Was like, hold on, brother. We hitting 2 weeks now. Shouldn't you give it up? Like, I think they get to put, I don't see a retraction. I don't see an answer. Every day that this lingers without an appropriate response, it's dragging down the platform to new lows. Not even in the long term. I don't know. I did that for 2 weeks. Why? Because my emotions were hurt? No, I'm still enjoying the hell out of the platform, playing games like crazy. Because the facts were telling me so. If you want to get beyond being entertained, you got to acclimate yourself to sources that want to tell you the facts and all of the facts and pivot their commentary from that. If that's not what you're getting, then but that onus is on you. That onus is on you. All right. So again, we laid it out there. For all of you that are leery and pulling your hair out, biting your nails to the cuticles because you think that Stadia is abandoning AAA games for good or for the foreseeable. No. All evidence is pointing to that they're looking to get the low change porting. I know every time someone from Google hears me say low charge, they smack the table. Damn it, MM2K, it's low change. But no, they get the low change porting together, and then they move on from there. Now I get it. Now if you want to have a discussion and argue, well, I don't know if that's a good strategy. I can understand that. I'm just in the camp that believes that porting, to pay for ports the old way, especially after Jason Schreier exposed to all the partners who was getting what, I know that had to make things, more cumbersome. To even where we don't know, Stadia could have been in a position to where that was their plan. While we're getting this low change porting together, there are some that we're going to have to put a significant amount of money out for. Continue to. And when Jason put that out there, Jason Schreier, which again, that piece that he put out there was of no significant value. None whatsoever. All it did was cause heartache. Even as grimy and as misleading as the Business Insider's article tone was, it had informative chunks in there at least. Jason's, not at all. The only thing that they told you is how much they were paying for ports, and who did that benefit? Really? Because I know we're not really flabbergasted that they paid 20, 30 million. Xbox is paying close to the same amount of money just to get games in Game Pass for a few months. So Jason Schreier, who really I think is sinking to new lows as an investigative reporter, I think his move to where's he at right now? Bloomberg. I don't think it's panning out for both parties as they expected. I would expect soon, and then I think he creates a lot of buzz, just to keep himself juiced up, in people's minds or whatever, in people's ears. I don't think that this deal is working out the way that they hoped it was on both sides. Because again, the Business Insider, which was really just a regurgitation of what he was saying, they went and fleshed out in some areas. They went and fleshed out some things that at least was informative to the public. But I can tell you what Jason Schreier's report likely did. It told 2K that they're making as much money, they're getting as much money from Google as Ubisoft for a port, and Take-Two is probably looking at their stock versus Ubisoft and said, no, we're a better platform. No. And what we do know is that Stadia was contracting games in little chunks. 5 games, you're going to develop 5 games for us here and 5 games. These weren't long-term partnerships. The only long-term partnership is with Ubisoft. The 5 games here, you're going to do 5 games, this 7 games, this, whatever. You know what I mean? And after, when it was time to renegotiate, Take-Two probably said, okay, now you're going to have to give us $50 million a port. You know what I'm saying? How dare, they probably felt insulted. All these game, platforms probably felt insulted. You're gonna have to give us $50 million a port. Because I think I'm better than them. We think our platform is better. No way in hell. Give us $50 million a port. You got it. You're Google. And it just wasn't sustainable. And no board is going to continue to allow that for a 1% business. That's just not how it works. They're not going to allow it for a 1% business. It's not how it works. I'm sorry. You may not like that. Go join the board. Get a bunch of your friends to join the board at Google and completely eradicate the thinking of Fortune 500 executives and VPs for the last 20, 30 years. Good luck. All right. So let's get back to making this an open mic and me shutting the hell up. Too many impatient gamers, like there are no other options. Stop. Yeah. I mean, again, if you are someone that has to play a bunch of games, like you had to have Biomutant and Gasoline Simulator, you know what I mean? And even Walking Dead, which that game may be dope. It's Metacritic 67, whatever. If you got to have all these games, then you're a console gamer. The technology isn't there yet. Why isn't the technology there yet? Because for those that have the games, either their platforms don't perform well enough, or they're or they can't get costs down to a regulated form that's going to be acceptable by gamers, or B, they don't have the games. So the technology just isn't there yet to be whipping out these games and putting it on the same level as a console. Or dedicated hardware. Jack Buser, a great visionist in this game, a great vet, said it's going to take years. And in particularly with Stadia, it's going to take years for you to come back and realize, oh, all right, now I'm getting something robust like the mainstream platforms. Bulls for Life says, shouldn't Should be on Division 2 tonight. Feeling a bit better. I'm glad you're feeling better, brother. Good. Great. Excellent. Twisted Barber says Armor Reforger just released onto Xbox as an early trial. PlayStation said they won't do unfinished games. Armor is a huge game. No sign of Stadia. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, Armor is the PUBG comes from Armor. PUBG was an Armor mod. I love Armor. It's one of my favorite games. Armor 2 was one of my favorite games back in the day. I love Armor. Very, very true. Everything was a problem now. They stay quiet, which I don't like. Don't say ish till you ready. I don't know how many videos come out complaining. Yeah, like I said. You got to look at track records. And you got to look at facts. And I get it. I totally get it. I know this is probably going to be controversial. Whatever. I mean, it is what it is. We're already 3 years into it, and people need to pull the diapers out their ass if they want to be babies about this. The fact of the matter is, look, here's the thing. The first wave of this community, social media lights and content creators, we were a bunch of enthusiastic people who didn't understand how things work. We understood, we were very keen and smart and knowledgeable about the technology, but because of the nature of the platform, it brought together a lot of people that were disenfranchised from gaming, haven't been gaming for a while or whatever. We just collectively, in very large chunks, did not understand how this worked. Now, I hate making it sound like that I'm not better than anybody. It just so happens that I came from being an Xbox content creator, feeling disenfranchised from Xbox, then trying PC, then coming here to Stadia, that I was acclimated to what was going on. I was on the main stage in the middle of the console war, so I knew everything. I know everything about them RDNA 2 and RDNA 3 battles, and and all that other crazy stuff. I knew about it because we were doing it every day on Broadband Bullies and so forth, and in PNTS Network. So I knew about all the news when it dropped. So and also I've been plugged into gaming since the GameCube came out. I took a long hiatus. I was just a gamer, took a long hiatus from gaming. Just had a PlayStation 1 where I was playing RPGs, then came back to gaming with the GameCube, then the Xbox the OG Xbox, and then the PlayStation 2. And ever since then, I've been acclimated to gaming and gaming news. Read all the Game Informers and the GMR magazines. We had a group that was active on MySpace. They were called the New Age Faction. Out on MySpace, turned into a website, turned into a group that would go to different video game stores and bring out petitions for System Link on Xbox, OG Xbox, all this other stuff. So I've been acclimated to gaming. I just had a conversation with the developer a couple of days ago about how I was talking to I just stumbled across a big time developer about one of their controversial games. And I've sworn to secrecy now, you know what I mean? So I've been acclimated to this stuff for a long time. You fast forward to coming to Stadia. This was me having the experience and the understanding of how the business worked, but just not understanding how the platform worked and where the platform was headed. Once I got that, then I was able to make everything click together and make sense. Another example of that is my brother Clive Linden. Clive used to work in the industry. He just had to understand how the platform worked, the cloud gaming platform worked. Once he got that, he was able to associate that to all of his knowledge and prior knowledge base. And that's why he pivots off of facts. And that's why the things that he talks about stays in the factual realm. My brother John Scar. A lot of y'all don't realize that John Scar works with Best Buy. He's been acclimated to the gaming news for a long time. He knows, he's been talking to developers and warehouses and publishing houses and stuff. He's been doing this for years. So he understands the business side. But then you have a circle of people that are well-intended. They love gaming. They're enthused about it. They're excited about it. But they just don't understand how the business works. Great, articulate, entertaining, but they just don't know how the business works. And that's what we dealt with early on at the launch of the platform. That's what we dealt with. So it's important to understand that you got a lot of articulation on social media, Reddit, wherever, about things that just don't pivot from the facts. They may sound like convincing arguments to people that don't understand the business, but that's it. That's it in a nutshell. And unfortunately, gamers, especially gamers here in this space, because a lot of them have been disenfranchised from gaming for a while, they just don't understand how the business works. So that's how that's how things like this even gets life within the community. But you don't have to fall into that realm. You can kick the tires, do your research, look at everything from 5,000 feet, and we're a product among many. We're a product and a platform that helps you do that. And again, the goal is not to convince you to this. It's just to put all the facts out there. If you still don't trust in the process after hearing all this, you don't trust in the process. I'm just letting you know that don't close off all these other possibilities because they spoke to those possibilities. Don't make the same mistakes that we were making in 2020 and 2021, closing off things because our emotions led us to do it. Says I call it the Stadia Carnival Ride. Rayman Legends also was trashed by Ubisoft on Stadia version. Are you saying that it's not a good port? We have to think as customers also. With that, I mean, we pay full price for a game that is underperforming or not supported with a specific disclaimer on the store page. Absolutely. I mean, if you're not satisfied with something, of course, react. Nobody's like, for instance, when we didn't like Outriders, we reacted. Those that were fine with the state of Outriders still reacted. And we reacted for the betterment of the community. Same thing with NBA 2K. Nobody is saying, oh no, just deal with it, take it with a grain. I don't do that. I remember live on air, I got Serious Sam. They were showing me all the Serious Sam 4. They were showing us all the pictures of Serious Sam moving off like a Twitch shooter that it is. And when it came out on Stadia, it was 30 frames per second. Me and Storm live on air unapologetically said, nope, we're funding this trash. Nope, I don't play games that are developed as a Twitch shooter at 30 frames per second. Some people may have gotten offended by that. I mean, you know, that's me. That was the expectation that I have, and it's my money. So of course, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to paint with a broad brush. See, Serious Sam, 60 frames per second, and no, it's not. Stadia is completely abandoned. See, that's what's happening, Raph. That's the problem. We're taking one-off situations and we're pegging it as the end of the platform. Just follow the evidence. Oh, wait, we don't know if Stadia has 1 million subs. They probably hit that a long time ago, and we don't know it. I doubt we don't have. I don't know what the actual number is, but if wine making simulator, if their second largest source of revenue is Stadia Pro, there's money in that. There's money in it. They're generating some money. I think they got a decent amount of subscribers. Get games that people want to play. All those AAA games can be circumvented if you get games people will play, like all those PC only. Oh my God, Simpleton. You know what? I give up. I quit SLS featured MM2K. I am now turning the mic over to Simpleton. Simpleton, you must have hacked into my notes. I didn't write that down, but I wanted to talk on that. This is why precedent is important. OG Xbox, when it came out. See, if you're not old enough to remember, or if you weren't following the news, I was up on them GameSpot chat boards battling people, man. It was crazy because, again, we had a publication called the New Age Faction. We was ripping and rolling through MySpace. We were doing the damn thing, right? And Xbox's Achilles. See, Xbox had all these features, right, that were grandiose. Better graphics and performance, and then the hard drive, and then the system link. But it didn't have the games that people wanted to play. But and they had Halo, but even though they had Halo just wasn't enough. They got destroyed. 150 million PlayStation 2s to 29 million Xboxes. That's a drubbing. Halo wasn't. So people make it sound like that Halo was this thing that, you know, kept the console war respectable. No, it was just 90% of the people that had Xboxes had Halo. So if you got 29 million Xboxes out there and 90% of the people, and I'm just throwing a random number, but a high number of people that had Xboxes got them primarily for Halo. And you guarantee you got a guaranteed copy of Halo to that box, you're going to sell a whole bunch of Halos. You're going to sell more Halos than you sell any other game on PlayStation. Because even though the PlayStation games had a higher ratio of top selling games overall, they didn't have a singular game with that amount of dedication to it, right? And again, even though that game gave you bargain and bragging rights, Halo alone, even with a successful 360, didn't stop you from losing $10 billion within 2 console generations, right? So Xbox had a similar problem. They had all these great features. They presented something unique to gamers, but they didn't have the games that gamers wanted to play, per se. But what kept them afloat and what worked out for them in the long term is that Xbox highlighted games that were actually good, but were being ignored. And those were Western developed games like Skyrim and Oblivion and Full Metal Spectrum and Full Spectrum Warrior, and other games like that were actually good games, great games, but they just were being ignored because everybody wanted Final Fantasy, everybody wanted Grand Theft Auto, those were the, whatever other games were out there, and those were the games that were on PlayStation. And so PlayStation wasn't giving these other Western developers the time of day all like that. But Xbox would. And I think you have a golden opportunity, Simpleton, if this is what you mean. Because if it is, I think you hit it right on the nail. This is a golden opportunity for Stadia to go out there and discover the untapped talent who 5, 10, 15 years from now is going to revolutionize gaming. Like, it didn't do much for the OG Xbox. It kept it afloat, kept it respectable, provided games. But then when the 360 came around, those exclusive relationships with those Western developers helped catapult the 360, because that was the games that the next generation of gamers wanted. So what Stadia is going to have to do, if they want to fully capitalize on this, is I'm looking at AAA-esque type of indie games, and I'm helping fund those. I'm looking at games like Project Z. What is the name? There's a game called Mortal Crush or something like that. Shout out to Mr. 1030. Mr. 1030, if you're in the chat, remind me of what the name of that game is. Mortal Crux. I'm looking at games like Mortal Crux. Looking at games like that have a AAA exterior to them, but maybe AA. And I'm helping to fund those and bring those to the platform. That's better than paying 50, 60, 70 million for these AAA ports. Because then these high-end indie games, you can establish a relationship with them. Now, granted, it's cool and gravy that Mr. 1030 and Cody and all these people go out here and they find these games. But I really hope that Stadia builds a legion of reps that are out here too, getting them acclimated to that 70-30 split with, you know what I'm saying, or whatever you want to do. That keeps the platform honest with good content, despite any struggles that you may have off and on or whatever with AAA development. That keeps a slew of good games coming. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Simpleton. That's pure wisdom. Get the games that people want to play. All those AAA games can be circumvented if you get games people will play, like all those PC-only indie dev games that keep steaming. Oh my God. Woo, that gives me chills reading that. Jesus. Woo! Woo, come on, AAA. Stop, Simpleton. You're going to make me pass out. He says, 2022 is done with the AAA for the rest of the year. It's about your backlog and any new indies. Yeah, man. I'm out here scouring. Like, I love that my brother Ralph, Mr. Ralph, You know what I'm saying? But yo, I'm out here. I'm in these streets. I got somebody out here that looking for these top-notch AAA games. Yo, we're interested. We just, no guarantees, but we want to let you know that you can come and become a Stadia developer. Just sign up. Here goes some of the perks. Here goes some numbers. I'm cold calling people. Yeah, I'm saying it. Yo, thank you, Mr. Ralph did there. And it's great to wait for the community to do it. It's great that that's happening too, but on top of that, I'm doing what Seamus Blackley and them did for Xbox. I'm developing that relationship with an up-and-coming market. I swear to God, it's like Simpleton took over my brain. I was just thinking this before we went live on air. That's what you gotta do. Because this is facts. 2022 is done with the AAA for the rest of the year. Get that Mortal Crux. Get them other game. And another one, which I know it might be a little bit more challenging, but y'all agree with me. I know y'all agree with me. Stadia should work hard to be the home of the JRPG. Stadia outlook, man. Look. Here's what I'm doing that's three-pronged. Because it's going to be a challenging road ahead. This is an emerging market. Here's what I'm doing that's three-pronged. That keeps my overhead low, keeps it in the 3% realm, keeps my gamers satisfied, and carves out our identity. Shout out to a homie of mine's, part of the Broadband Bullies. We called him Alex. Alex was the most disrespectful dude out there. You go and debate Alex, he's talking about your mama, your sister, what you had for dinner, how you getting beat up in 8th grade. I mean, it was just. And shout out to my brother Jay Wags. Hey, me and Jay Wags, we used to sit I was rapping to my brother yesterday. Shout out to my brother Jay Wags, man, fellow Pittsburghian, former Broadband Bully, man, doing his thing. And Jay Wags, he's starting to come back. Shout out to you, good brother. Me and you we got rap. We got to talk about some things. When the commission comes back, I definitely want to get you on there, Jay Wags. Me and Jay Wags, we used to talk. Yeah, man, you heard what Alex said? Man, if I ever get on the stage and I got to debate Alex, I'm going to call him this. What you going to call him, Jay Wags? Well, I'm going to call him. That's how ignorant Alex was. But that's my bro. I love him. Straight out of New York. I love him. Alex Escobar. He goes by the name Alex Escobar. If you follow Broadband Bullies Next Gen 720, y'all know who he is, right? Real famous. Matter of fact, he got so famous doing the debates and stuff like that, and how ignorant he was. Y'all think that these entities at these companies aren't listening. They're listening all the time. Alex Escobar became so popular that when the Xbox One launched, was it the One or the Series? It might even been the Series. One of those consoles launched. No, it was the Series. It wasn't the One and it wasn't the X. I think it was the Xbox Series, because I remember I didn't get one, but he was there. When the Xbox Series launched, Alex was in line in New York, and Aaron Greenberg happened to be there. And Aaron Greenberg walked up to Alex and said, now again, the Alan Greenberg from Xbox, I know know you. You that Alex dude. He said, here, I'm going to give you a controller. Gave him something. And they took a picture together. And I was still kind of digging Xbox at the time. So we were jealous. We were so mad. Alex came back and he said, yeah, man, they'll support you bots. He support me because I be telling the truth about Xbox. He was just messing with us. Anyway, shout out to my brother, Alex Escobar. Best of luck to you, man. I hope everything is still going good for you, good brother. I ain't heard from you in a long time. That all being said, reason why I brought that up is Alex always noted something that was important for a platform. And that's you have to have an identity. You have to have an identity. Now, it's the early years in cloud gaming, there's still time to build up. But I think what would be great is if Stadia banked this identity on, they got the Ubisoft games. Boom. So you're going to have AAA support there. They work out a deal with NIS America to get all the NIS America games over here since 2009 on forward. Let's get all the NIS America games. And we know JRPGs, as far as porting to the platform, they're not those type of JRPGs are not a problem. We're not talking about Square Enix JRPGs, Lord Jesus. But all the NIS America games, we know that those port fine. So let's get those over there. And lastly, the home of the emerging indie games. So those top-notch indie games, like I said, the Mortal Cruxes, the Project Z's, you know what I'm saying? And even the ones from our good friends, Ethan, the name loses me. Obscured, I think it is. The one that's like the Resident Evil, that's the spiritual successor to Resident Evil, right? Obsession, I think it is. Get these games on the platform. Make that your identity for now. Because if you strike that deal with NIS America, you're getting games that ain't even coming to Xbox. In some cases, they're not even coming to PlayStation. Or, they're always coming to Switch, but in some cases, they're not coming to PlayStation. That's what I'm doing. Carve out that identity so people know what to expect. So I'm striking deals. I still got my deal with Ubisoft. I'm striking deals with NIS America, and I got a group of scouts that are looking hard for and cold calling for these emerging, these AAA-esque looking AA games, like a Project Z. I'm on them. Wow, excellent comment. I have no issues with that, but there's always a AAA game every year, regardless of who develops it. Purple Haze says, Stadia is basically the console game, PC game version of the Google Play Store. If people understand how that store works, they'll understand how Stadia works. Not for nothing, I heard Ubisoft say For Honor was coming to Stadia 2 years in a row and had to back it up, and then they made a mistake. Yeah, that's a mistake by Ubisoft, and to be honest with you, it wasn't a good look for Stadia to follow you up with that. It wasn't. I can't sugarcoat that. Because if that's me, I'm kicking the tires. I'm like, hold on. Who's the account rep for Ubisoft or For Honor? Hey, look, I'm about to respond to this guy on social media. Can you confirm that this is coming? You know what I'm saying? Because if it is coming to the platform, there's somebody from a relationship manager standpoint that should have sign-offs, that should have dates, all that stuff. So I'm having that conversation before I respond. I don't know if that conversation was there and somebody mixed that up, but it wasn't a good look for Stadia. Definitely got some people's hopes up. I'm with Cowboy on this. Absolutely, I'm with you on that too. Oh man, hey Ron Slusher, look, old dirty blasters, let Ron Slusher live, man. That's my bro. Just let him go. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He said Destiny 2 better than Division 2, man. Now you can't come in the house of Stadia 2 nights in a row and say that. Christopher Torres says For Honor should be on Stadia. I'm paying for Ubisoft Plus, so send me the games though. I have Luna. I go back and forth still develop the games for Stadia. Is For Honor on Luna? Is For Honor on Luna? Now, Christopher Torres, I agree with you 1,010%. I do agree with you, even though I get that the develop process again isn't turnkey. I get that, but I also agree with you that where as a backup for if you were grandfathered for an extra $5.99, or no, I don't even think you need to have Luna Plus in order to play Ubisoft games on Luna. I think you could just be subscribed and just have the cloud version. So yeah. Let me see what else here. Y'all doing a lot of conversating here. Petter Games says new game straight into Pro mid this month. What's not an A grade about that? I'm gonna save my grade right now because I'm waiting for Far Cry Primal. I'm being a scuzz bucket about it. I'm waiting for Far Cry Proper's Place. What's going on, Proper's my good brother Proper? My good brother Proper, man. Check out his channel. Proper, you're not a mod here? Yes, you are. Proper, drop your channel, please. Yes, MM2K, great point. It's one thing to build partnerships with the current leaders of the games, but everything changes over time. You've got to keep looking down the road. The indies of today are the AAAs of tomorrow. Yeah, I truly believe you got to have a strategy. And trust me, I'm not saying they don't have a strategy, but you got to carve out an identity, is what I'm saying. Your identity before was you were the best performing cloud service out there. What is the identity now? Convenience, which that's a great attribute. Very great attribute. It is the number one attribute. You could argue that it could be an identity, but I don't think that's good enough as an identity. I think you want to start working on an identity as far as what to expect from you. And I think beyond convenience, because cloud gaming is just supposed to be convenient anyway. Being the most convenient is great. It's helping out a lot. It's got you as one of the top cloud gaming platforms, but I think it's good to go a little bit further. What to expect from you. And I think a good, like, when it came to Xbox, even though they were getting shellacked, you knew to expect badass Western developed games from them. And that carried them over to success to the 360. So right now in these early years, if we know to expect Ubisoft, NIS, the home of the JRPGs, and the home of the emerging games from the emerging indie games, I think you got it. Yep. Outbreak. Thank you, Dust. Thank you. And Bulls for Life is back. All right, well, good. All right. So how long have we been? Okay, so we've been podcasting for 2 hours and 18 minutes. I'm going to end this poll. And then I think we're going to take a few moments to give the flowers to, hold on. Oh, gosh. We're going to take a few moments to give the flowers to those within the Stadia community that get it. And that's the new gamers. We had Stadia Community Day, and a lot of people that are in here now contributed towards Stadia Community Day. And for those of you who might be listening, say, what the hell is Stadia Community Day? Well, Stadia Community Day was a day where content creators, 20 plus of us, got together starting at 6:30 a.m. and provided back to back content, all related to Stadia. Cowboys, well, me and Cowboy started it off with a welcome wagon, and then Cowboy started off with a podcast, and Purple Haze had a hell of a Mortal Kombat tournament. Oh, it was just fire. Then it just went on from there. John Scar Rock, Papa Bear Gaming, Cloud Validate. It was just a great event. Now, your boy was supposed to be on at the midnight hour, or something happened. I talked about it in what actually took over that hour, which Cowboy stepped in and did it. And I want to give a round of applause to Cowboy. Clive mentioned it last night on his show, that really the guy that put this together for y'all was Cowboy. I tried my best to do it, you know what I mean? But that's why I always give the flowers where they deserve. Thank you, Cowboy, for your humbleness. And I don't think people give you credit for that. But no, Cowboy put this together. Did I mention it? Yeah, I mentioned it. But it's something that we've always been talking about for a while. It was just fantastic. It was a great moment. I got stats on it. I'll provide more stats. We're closing in on we got thousands of views. We got thousands of views altogether. So great job to everybody. And look, we did it without the big Stadia names. Don't get me wrong. John Scar, Rock, and Now Your Mama Knows, and others, Ray, they're rock stars in the Stadia community. But we know there's that upper echelon of Stadia viewership, you know what I mean? And that doesn't take anything away from Ray, Rock, and Now Your Mama Knows, and including myself, you know what I mean? It's just that, you got to give them their flowers too for having that higher tier of volume. But we weren't able to get any of that participation, mainly because we came to them so late and so abruptly. And that's my fault. You know what I mean? It's something I'm gonna get into why we formed this event the way that we did, but we went to different people. We wanted to open this up as wide as possible. It just wasn't fathomable because of the amount of time that it would have taken them to schedule, around it. And they weren't able to do it. And that's understandable. But you can look at the glass being half empty or half full. I look at it as being half full. Nothing against, again, the higher echelon, but by it being about the group set that was there, it just, the camaraderie from show to show to show was just fantastic. And we had a steady number of people that just stayed engaged. That was beautiful. And also, when we had a couple years ago, when we started something in a format like this, when we had the higher tier involved as well, it was about showing that people do play the platform. So it was great to have somebody do a show during the older format and get 2,000 views. That's great. But it's not about, now people know that the platform exists. They know if they go out on Twitter, they say something about Stadia that ain't factual, they go and get a little cluster of people that's going to set them straight. So they know that the platform exists. They know people play on it, right? The thing about it is to show that the camaraderie is there and it's strong. And that's what we showed the other day. And we didn't, again, I dropped the ball as far as the non-English speaking part of it. I know that was a concern. There were a lot more people that did want to get involved, and so forth. And we're going to do better on that front next time. Definitely. We're already talking about it. We're going to have more sponsors. It's going to be bigger and better in a fun type of sense. You know what I mean? So I was happy to see through 20 hours of content to see a consistent volume there and a good volume, and to see content creators say, you know what, I've never had these type of views. That's what it was about. It was about providing those that are enthusiastic about a platform, A, a place to know where they can go and get great content, and B, a place where content creators can know where they can go and help grow their channels. That's what it was all about. And I think we got that. So very happy with the results. And again, hopefully as we plan it better, we will get the top tier. We'll get everybody involved. You know what I mean? Hopefully that's the long-term goal. And we'll build and we'll get to that point, because this isn't going anywhere. But in addition to that, it was needed because I was having this conversation with a developer. And unfortunately, we've gotten to a space in the gaming spectrum where it's more important to talk about and debate over games than it is to actually play them. And as a 35 plus year veteran as a game player, that's not good. Even you guys have even noticed from me, I've created less and less content. Not because I can't talk about Stadia. Y'all know me, I can talk about Stadia all freaking day. But I want to play the games. I'm tired of trying to convince, well, I don't know, man, because Jimmy John said that it's about to die tomorrow. I get worn out and tired from pulling out the green eggs and ham and saying to y'all, it says green eggs and ham, not purple pancakes and orange muffins. I want to play the games. That's why we developed Old Dirty Blasters. That's why we got the Bad Intentions Initiative. We just got all types of stuff going because we want to play the games. And having events like this and having it on the regular, I think helps us refocus where the old school should be and what the new school, people like Purple Haze and Lo-Fi Monk and Main Games and all of you guys, Papa Bear and all you newer faces, y'all get it. Cloud validation, y'all get it. Well, let's talk about it. It's great. It creates a great opportunity. But at the end of the day, when are we playing the damn games? We kind of lost that. And it's my generation's fault that we lost it. It's gotten more about, I'm going to point a finger at you, or I'm part of this clique and we're going to protect each other and our content, or I'm part of this group of people on social media and we feel it's gotten more about these cliques and more about who's right opposed to playing the damn games. And my thing is go ahead and rag on Stadia if you feel like it's not performing up to your expectations. I get it. Do it. But in contrast, you should be playing something else then. If you got a certain set of expectations and Stadia's not meeting them, then you should be bumping expectations against reality, right? So if you're doing that, there should be something that you're playing. So shut the hell up at some point and play the damn games. And that's not what we're getting. And I gotta be honest with you. As much as I did love console gaming and creating content on consoles and how lucrative that was for me, I stepped away from it all because of that very fact, that it became more about arguing over RDNA 3 and batteries over, you know what I'm saying, rechargeable control. It became more about finding things to nitpick about and telling people why they shouldn't enjoy something besides you going and enjoying what you enjoy, and I going and I'm enjoying what I'm enjoying. It's got past that. And I thought it would be different in this space. And now I'm starting to see that ugly, crummy nature seep into here. If I'm having a conversation about why I am enjoying Stadia and you don't, why are you in my conversation? Go in and make a simultaneous conversation about what you enjoy. Because if you complaining about this space over here emphatically, but yet you can't find nothing that makes you happy, then maybe your expectations are unreal. Maybe it's not a problem with this platform or that platform. Maybe the problem is with you. And in 2022, I want to tune all of the yous out that I can. It's about playing the games and enjoying what you play and highlighting what you enjoy. So that's why this is needed. And we're going to keep it rolling. We already got spin-off ideas based off of this. No, is that going playing games, is that going to eradicate issues that may pop up here and there? No. But this has to be centered around playing games and not just talking about them. And again, if you feel that revved up to where you just got a plethora of things that you got to address about this platform, there has to be a realistic alternative that gives you those things that you're looking for. Otherwise, your expectations are unrealistic. I only deal with realism and facts. I don't want to hear from you. That's why I always argue. You don't have to indulge in everybody's rhetoric. So that's why this event was needed. And I know I have never put it that bluntly or put it that jagged, but it is. We're starting to emulate the crummy, scummy nature that I try to escape coming here. You know, that gas, the toxins are starting to come underground. So for those of us, the new breed, I love y'all. Y'all are a godsend. I love y'all. For the new breed and for the gamers that get it, you're still enthusiastic? Come on, let's play some games. Let's talk about our experiences as well. I'm going to keep doing it. But let's keep the centrifuge around playing and highlighting what we enjoy over what we don't. So those are my final thoughts. Wanted to give flowers again to those. Thank you all to those that participated in Stadia Community Day. It's coming back. It's going to be bigger and better. And there's going to be spin-offs to it. I don't want to say too much. We'll get into that when the time is appropriate. But again, I have to give my flowers to you, to the new guard. That's why I presented that challenge to some of us, you know, the ones that are more established. Like, give a shout out, give a kudos to an old guard. Hey, Jack, I don't know if you're still listening. You know, at some point in time, you know, maybe we'll circle around highlighting it and spot. I saw this on Ryzax. Game Over stream, Jack, and again, Ryzack, I'm sorry, you just gonna have to sue us in court if we steal your idea. But I like that they gave like an honorary thing to Purple Haze. Oh, she's a up and rising star in this community, but she's part of that new breed and she gets it. Like, I would like for us to do something like that. It's about enjoying. Can we spread more joy than can we? You know what I mean? Again, the is always going to be around. I express but can we put the focus around joy again? And if you don't enjoy it, I get it. Fine. Nothing wrong with expressing that, but I can't relate. So I'm not just going to sit there and let you piss in my cornflakes all day. I planned on eating that. We should get that on a t-shirt. Hashtag I planned on eating that. I'm not going to let you just piss in my cornflakes all day, so I don't have to indulge in your rhetoric, because I'm enjoying it. I trust the process. I feel like I got a good grasp of what's going on because I'm following the facts. Hashtag I plan to eat that. All right. So that's it for my final thoughts. We're gonna get to the rest of the chat. We're gonna close out. A game should be developed in any plat, and a publisher should have the tools to put that game on Stadia with very little effort. A 3% bump is worth it if you don't have a 20% lift. Yeah, I can't wait until to see what this low change porting does. And if it gets everything up to par, man, oh my God, and games are whipping out left and right, that's gonna be great. And along with the performance as well. They're talking about For Honor here. Shout out to Petter Games, my bro. Yep, Simpleton killed it, man. Simpleton killed it. My only reason for the B grade, Jeremy Moon says, is only for 2 fully new games for a 2-week or almost 1 month. Let me read that again. My only reason for my B grade is only 2 fully new games for a 2-week or almost 1 month period. I can dig it. I can dig it. Ubisoft is just looking for a newer game to put on Stadia platform. In general, I find indie games more fun to play than AAA games. It's like movies. I pass on all the AAA blockbusters like Marvel, but I prefer to watch indie movies, which are more thought-provoking. Yeah, indies are trying to push, anything is trying to push the envelope more. Like, I don't watch a lot of basic TV or blockbuster stuff too, Gandar. I watch a lot of Asian cinema. Yeah, I watch a lot of foreign stuff. Because they're trying, they're pushing that envelope. I love it. West Attack says an eclectic mix of streams and panel. Yeah, it was fantastic. Simpleton says, did you say cowboy and humble? Stop it, Simpleton. Yes, I did. I said it. He has it in his bones. He has the capabilities. Stadia Community Day was great. Have to do that again. Yes, fantastic. We are doing it again, man. Hey, Proper Steaks, thanks for the sub. My brother Proper, yes. Community Day was great fun. Well put together. I look forward to the next one. Yes, more coming. Plenty of room for new creators. Great to see new people coming through. Absolutely. Oh, here goes my brother Shay Capo. I love Shay Capo. Shay Capo comes from my console days. He says, anyone unhappy with Stadia, come over to PlayStation 5. We got Ubisoft plus classic and game. Sure. Y'all ain't got it on the cloud though, brother. This is cloud gaming, Capo. Shout out to Shay Capo. Yeah, hey, Clive and Lennon, that's right, brother. Stay out of my cornflakes. I plan to eat that. Anytime, you know what? Let's see how big we can get the movement. Every time, if you start a thread and you're like, hey, I love playing it on Stadia because this, that, and then somebody comes in, snuffle up or kiss from Sesame Street. Hey, Bird, well, I know you enjoyed it, Bird, but, hashtag, I hear what you're saying, but thanks for whizzing in my cornflakes. Hashtag I plan to eat that. Hopefully they'll go away. So that PS5 news is fake. My dog is sitting with her legs crossed. Best take her out. Catch you later. Great stream, MM2K. Thank you, Petter, for your support as always, brother. Part of the Allgar. Petter's been there since the beginning as well. He understands what I'm talking about. All right, with that said, folks, I appreciate all of y'all. My wife made some tacos, so I got to wrap it up. But I appreciate all of y'all. Thank y'all so much for the support. We'll be back again on Thursday. Wednesday, I got a video for y'all. It's kind of in this realm, but I'm gonna be offline all day Wednesday. Me and my wife got a big appointment she got to go to, and see you guys Thursday with SSC Podcast.